Okay, so first video to not my first video to record actually. I just kind of recorded a video maybe 20-30 minutes ago, but I realized that I was starting up a project that I can't really show anyone quite yet. So I had to delete that one or not delete it, but hopefully show it in the future. So I'll repeat most of what I said and try to introduce anyone watching to this channel. So my name is Pontus. I'm from Sweden, way up north, and the main idea behind making these videos, or well, there are um, two main ideas here. One is I wanted to make a blog about my coding experience or learning how to code, and so I figured why not try to make them YouTube videos just for the fun of it, so it can be a little bit more entertaining to myself mostly, so I can code while I'm talking about it, and also to keep me on track. And secondly, or this should be the first reason, because when I look at YouTube tutorials, you check out like channels like Traverse Media, for example, which are amazing for learning, and I've learned so much from those kinds of websites. But the only thing that's missing, in my opinion, not from their channels, but in general, is people learning how to code and showing it in real time. Mostly you see people like on podcasts or YouTube videos or in articles talking about how they learned how to code and how hard it was for them to get over all sorts of obstacles, um, and talking about the problems after the fact. And so my idea was, why not do something like in real time as an actual beginner? So my videos will not be polished projects where I've already built something and then I'm just going through and showing you guys what's up, because there are a ton of those YouTube videos already, and you can just go ahead and watch them if that's more your pace. This is more directed to people who either are learning how to code and find it frustrating being slow and stumbling through the code and not really grasping anything and feeling like it's not just as easy as it looks on those videos. And second, I guess it's for people who just want to watch someone learn how to code. You could be really good coder yourself maybe and just want to take a break from serious code videos and watch something slightly more lighthearted. So this is the first time for me doing anything like this, so it feels kind of odd talking to myself in a house all alone, or except for a dog, talking to a computer screen. So I will probably get better over time. But yeah. So this is, I think this is just going to be a short video where I introduce myself and I have to show something. So something I just learned. I'm doing this at the best possible time as well. This is probably most of you guys can relate to this, having to do something the next day or whatever, and all of a sudden you find yourself just like rolling on different projects and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's 4 a.m. or something, and you have to get up at 8. Yeah, now it's 2 a.m. and I have a long drive down to Stockholm tomorrow, which is like a 6-hour drive. But that is a problem for tomorrow, or technically today. But I figured this should be an introduction to this channel, which I just felt like it was a good idea to start it now after writing like a three-page more or less essay about my coding journey so far that I sent to a company, and just doing a bunch of things that I do instead of sleeping, which I should do. So okay, something super simple. I saw Brad Traversy do this in his videos all the time. So let's say I went to a project. I'm trying to get familiar using the terminal. I personally use a terminal called Hyper, which is free for Mac, and I find it to be I don't know that much about terminals so far, but from what I know, this one is pretty solid. Excuse me. And I mean, it does the trick, and it looks kind of neat. So let's say I want to change directory to something that I want to work to. So CD is change directory, and let's say I'm doing a personal project. Let's say my first live website. Okay, so this was literally just a website that I pulled up on GitHub pages just to have something out there, just to get over that hurdle of what should I post, and it has to be perfect, and I have to polish it, and it should be my portfolio or whatever. I just felt like I just put whatever out there. So it's literally, I think it's just a green background website with an H1 where it just says like my page or something. I can check it out and see what it's like. Yeah. There you go. So this is my first website. So if I want to go here on Mac or in Hyper and just type CD, and I can drag the whole directory over here, and you can see that it becomes a plus icon. So it'll paste that path to the directory. So okay, I go in there, and I saw Brad just write code like this and a dot, which means to select everything in that directory, and just code to start Visual Studio Code. But when I did that, it just didn't work. So what I did was I went to Google, as is 99% of the case, especially as a beginner, and I typed, I think it was Open Visual Studio Code from Terminal Mac. Yeah, there we go. And I went into their forums or their documentations, and I saw, okay, you can launch VS Code, open the command palette, Shift Command P, and type shell command. Okay, so I went in there. It's a little bit slow right now, I'm sorry for that. Shift Command P, and then I wrote, well, you can already see it recently used it. It wasn't there before, but it is now. So I just wrote shell, and then this was the first one to pop up. So I just pressed OK, and it installed it. I had to insert my password because it wanted to make changes to the system and then reboot Visual Studio. And afterwards, I could just, when I was in my directory, I could just type code and then dot. And it'll start up Visual Studio Code within that directory. So I don't have to open up code and then open up the directory from within here. So yeah, that's the learning part of today. And like I said, this is mostly just, this is kind of the same philosophy as I had with my first website. If I stumble on a couple of words, it's, well, because English is my second language. So while I do consider myself pretty confident in my English ability, I do have the occasional hiccups, as most people do with second languages. But this is mostly the same thing as the website. Just instead of trying to overthink things and trying to make them perfect before doing anything. I mean, perfection, as cliche as it sounds, is just something you cannot reach. There's always going to be something you can change and feel like, I don't know, maybe I should have said this, or maybe I should have done something more creative, or whatever. There's always going to be that thing you can change. So I figured if I want to put up videos, why not just literally make the first video with no retakes and just post it? And then if it's shit and it has one view and one dislike and one comment saying like you suck, I mean, that doesn't really matter, because at least I've published the first video, and then I can become better afterwards and keep doing this. And like I said, it's a lot for me as well to post these. And like one of my main goals is even one person that is learning how to code, if that one person can get some form of inspiration from this and realize that they are definitely not alone when learning how to code and just like stumbling through everything and not knowing anything about what they're doing, but kind of knowing what they're doing. If I can make just one person feel less alone in that fact, then I'm stoked. So if I can do that and just keep on doing these for my sake, then I'll be happy. So yeah, I don't know if this is like a 20-minute video now or something. I'm not gonna edit it. I'm not gonna add texts or effects or anything. I'm just gonna post it, the raw video, on YouTube. This is recorded with my built-in microphone on my 2015 iMac. So it's probably not gonna be like the best quality in the world, but you know, like I said, first video is just gonna be for the sake of putting something out there. So I've gotten over that hurdle, so I can just keep going. So if you like this, after this long ramble, I'm super tired, so half of the things I'm saying now I'm probably gonna be like questioning myself tomorrow, or hopefully not, but we'll see. Either way, or I'm not going to question myself. That sounded kind of vague. I'm probably going to more or less look back on this and hopefully get at least one chuckle out of it. So tired rant is ended, and now I'm going to go to sleep. So if you like this and want to see my journey, where I'm going to post videos of me starting up projects, probably making several videos in a row about the project so they don't become too long, and me trying to figure out how to do them, what to do, thoughts about me doing it, thoughts about how to process everything, just like becoming a coder from the perspective of a beginner. Then by all means subscribe to the channel, give it a like, everything that you're supposed to say as a person uploading videos to YouTube. But yeah, that does make sense to say it, because I guess that is the goal of most YouTube channels. Alright, so wherever you are, good morning, good night, good day, good whatever you might be.